I can't believe who I have sitting here in front of me today, folks. And here we are with the PFRPA. And I have an opportunity to talk to the man, the myth, the legend. Before you go, I got to tell you a quick story, right? So
in my own mind.
That's right. That's right. So we're no spring chickens anymore, but
No.
I have to tell you this story. When I was growing up, okay, when I was in junior high and high school, when we were playing pickup ball, I was always Jack Youngblood. always Jack Youngblood. So, folks, Jack
That makes me feel good. That made my day right there.
There you go. Always had to be. Huge fan. Way up there in the Cleveland area where I grew up. But, I mean, it was not just the way you played. The name. Come on, you have the ultimate football name. I mean, come on.
It is a good name. Granddaddy gave us something to carry on.
That's right. All right, so unbelievable football history, obviously Hall of Fame, all of that great stuff. 151 and a half career sacks.
I want to know where the half came from.
Right? Right?
How do you get a half of a sack?
That's right. You got a hand on him and some other guy, right?
Either you did or you didn't.
And how about the guys that are counting that stuff, right?
Right.
How about that? My half sack. I had a 3/4 sack.
And I used to get paid for that. You know, they used to have a bonus, for the sacks that you got for the year. And I'm going, I guess I'm only going to get $500 instead of $1,000 a sack.
Oh my gosh! right. Don't
and
cut
now
in,
they
don't
get
cut
now they
into
get
my
$1
money.
million.
Yeah, right. If not more. Hey, I have a really cool story. When I talk about my favorite football memories from my NFL days, I have a cool story that I share about Reggie White, and it was after the game. Reggie White. Let me set this up. Reggie White. I was a rookie. Four games into my rookie season, and here I am going against the sack leader of the time, Reggie White.
That's bad.
It is bad. And playing tackle, right? So the week before, Reggie plays against Andy Heck, who is another rookie tackle for the Chicago Bears at the time, and Reggie gets 6 sacks in one game. Right? Almost the NFL record behind Derek Thomas, one behind him. So we're going into the next game, and the whole world's media is coming down on me going, Reggie's going to have the year in sacks in 2 games. He's going to 2 rookies in a row and just crush you guys. I end up getting out of the game, giving up only 1 sack to Reggie White. It was huge. But what happened was after the game, I'll never forget this as long as I live. And you don't. There's certain things you don't do to Reggie. You didn't take the Lord's name in vain. You didn't cut him, right? Yeah. All that good stuff. And you didn't curse at him. Well, I did all 3 in the first quarter, right? So he had his ears pinned back the whole game. So, anyways, after the game, I'm jogging off to our side in the tunnel on one side of the field, and Green Bay Packers are going into the other side. I'm about to the tunnel, right? And I see big number 92 jogging across the field. Well, more than jogging, he was kind of sprinting. So I'm thinking in my mind as I'm looking through my rearview mirror here going, oh my gosh, he wants to fight me right here. Right? Reggie's coming over here to fight me. And he's running across the field, and he finally catches up to me, and he smacks me on the butt, and he goes, you're going to be all right, kid. Great game.
That's cool.
Like a football
That's
memory.
too cool.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Nobody in the whole world saw that thing, and we all have stories like that. So tell me about your football memory, one of your greatest that nobody would know about.
Well, there's so many of them after 14 years and going through the peaks and valleys of a season, and about those. Right. One of the most inspiring moments in my career was when it was in the second year in the game. Merlin and Deacon were still there.
Right.
And I take that back. That was in my rookie year, because Deacon got traded in 72, and I took his position.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, these are some large shoes to fill.
Right.
And especially when you think about who's your wingman, Merlin Olsen.
Oh my gosh.
He may kill me if I do something wrong. Right. But we're in the lunchroom on it was a preseason game, And we used to play 6 in those days.
Yeah.
And,
wow. Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
6 of them. It was, and we were in the lunchroom, and Tommy Prothero was our coach, and he would usually get our attention at the end of lunch and tell us what we're going to do and what's the program for the day. And I never will forget this. He used to take a glass of water, and he would rub the edge of the water
right?
glass and make it squeal.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And everybody got used to that, and so we were listening to him, and he started like this. He said, "Youngblood, you're the worst football player I have ever seen." with that Tennessee accent he had, and I'm sitting there. Thank goodness I had Merlin Olsen on one side and Jack Snow on the other side, wow. And I'm sitting with the veterans, and I'm trying to slide down. I'm trying to slide down and get out of sight here, and Merlin looked over at me. He said, "Don't worry, kid. He didn't know what he's doing."
Messing with your head.
Messing with your head.
Man.
And Jack did too. Jack Snow did the same thing afterwards. And I was really inspired by that. Yeah. That Merlin would give me that kind of a sense of accomplishment that you can play.
Right.
And I was very, very fortunate. I've told this my entire career. If it wasn't for Merlin and Deacon, I'd have been back in North Florida driving a tractor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, hearing you guys throw around these names. I mean, they're so iconic, and even though I played, these are the guys that I looked up to. Mm-hmm. So seeing that and just hearing you talk about it,
they were the foundation. They were the foundation of the success of the National Football League.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now I'm gonna have some fun with you. I'm gonna ask you a couple hot seat questions. Right, nothing too crazy. I know you're a little bit crazy back in the day. I've heard.
Not a little bit.
I've seen some of the pictures with you on the beach giving your Ken Dow pose, playing Handsome Dan out there.
Yeah, I think I got a $50 check for that one.
That and a few girlfriends, I bet.
Back then.
Right. All right. So, first question: coldest game you ever played in?
I think it was in Minnesota. When for the playoff game, and I'm a Florida boy, and I don't know how to dress for this kind of stuff, and especially in our days. I mean, we didn't have any of this exotic equipment that they've got today, and playing in the snow. Heck, I had not seen snow until I was.
And this is before the Minnesota
years.
Dome days, folks.
Right, exactly.
Right?
the old Met field. That was probably, and it was. We didn't have, our cleats didn't go in the ground. We just skated around that day.
Oh my God!
It was horrible. The ground was so solidly frozen, and it made my life a lot. It gave me a lot of problems because I was trying to turn on the edge and come across around the corner.
And try not to fall.
And try not to fall. Exactly. That's probably
All right. So you're known for delivering some viciously hard hits in your career, but what is the hardest you've ever been hit?
Oh, I'd have to say there was a couple of times when your helmet would come off, when they'd try to trap you, and they couldn't trap me because I was reading it out the whole time. So I just stepped down inside and took the guard on and the tackle and create a pile and make the back go a different way. And your helmet would come off every now and then. Yeah. And it would invariably come off as you're going down to the ground. and you're going, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to hurt real bad.
There could be 1,000 pounds of funk falling on me at any second, right?
That's right. And then there was the day in Atlanta where I came around the corner and the offensive guard, I can remember his name. He'd been after me all game long, and I pushed Brodkowski up in the pocket, and the next thing I remember was our trainer, who was we called him Mother, George Menifee. Right. And he was like a mother to us. I mean, he provided for us on and off the field.
Get your bumps and bruises.
Loved him. Right. Loved him to death. The next thing I remembered was George standing over me going, "Why are you asleep on the field?" And I look up at him and I'm going, "Get me up off the ground."
Some smelling salts.
Oh,
right.
And carried one of those little.
Oh my God.
One of those.
All right. So now we also all have our stories about our transition from college ball to pro ball. What was the moment that it dawned on you that you were now in the NFL as a different game?
You got to remember there wasn't any of the hype back in 1970,
right?
About who's going to be where and who's on the first round draft choice, who's going to be the draft, and all the hype that goes on today. There wasn't anything like that. And the first time that I realized that I was actually in the National Football League was when they said they brought me out in March because the draft used to be in January. They brought me out in March for a rookie camp. Right. And as I walked into the dressing room, I'm thinking on the way in, I wonder what number I'm going to get. I wonder what number. Right. I was going, it'd be nice if I could just continue playing with number 74 on.
Right.
So I walked through the door, and the first thing I saw was number 74, Olsen, on the front of the locker.
Wow.
I went, well, I guess I'm not going to get that number.
Right? Right. All right, so now I want you to picture in your head that young rookie, Jack Youngblood. What piece of advice are you giving him if you could talk to your younger self?
Be smart about who you run with.
Yeah.
Who you take on as your mentor.
Yeah.
You want to choose the right ones. And fortunately, I was surrounded by great ones.
Right.
Extremely great ones. And I guess I was smart enough to adhere to what they were trying to teach me.
Right.
Really
important, yeah.
Because when Deacon and Merlin both look at you at some point in time during the year and say, "Kid, you can play," that gets you up on your tiptoes.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. That's it just reminds me of my moment I told you about with Reggie. I mean, when you get that kind of from the
acknowledgement,
guys that you respect so much, right? It's
absolutely
huge. I can't imagine. So, next question I have for you. So you have a lot of guys out there every year that are thinking about hanging up the cleats, right? Most of us, as you know, don't get to retire with that tip of the hat into the fans. That moment we all dream about, and we think it's going to be like that when we retire. But most of the time it's because we're hurt and we just can't – we're not quite as quick anymore, right? You lost a few steps and things hurt too much, right? So those guys that are getting ready to retire, what piece of advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say those guys who are going to retire is that, thank the good Lord that He gave you that ability to play this game at that level.
That's right.
And if you made it through 4.5 years to be a vested veteran,
right,
that's even more blessing.
Yeah, huge accomplishment.
Because it's now, I think it's less than 3 years that a player who's excuse me, is on the team makes it.
Yeah.
I mean, the injuries are more abundant, apparently.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. I played in 201 consecutive games, and probably shouldn't have, but
right. Miracles of modern
I
science.
had wonderful miracles.
right.
But
he was a Superman, folks. He just healed faster than everybody else, right?
Yeah, we loved it. We loved it, and then when Merlin retired, I assumed the captain position, and then it was my duty to go out and do everything I possibly could to help my football team win the ball game.
Right, absolutely. All right, so now we take that next step in our careers, and especially now with the PFRPA, what an important role that it's playing, that it's going to play in the lives of retired players moving forward. So after all the work that's been done with building the foundation of the game, especially your generation, and all of the work that you've done over the years, what does it mean to you now to be a board member of the PFRPA and its vision? What's that mean to you?
Well, we're very thankful that the lawsuit ended up like it did, sure. And Judge Brody made it available for us to do something for the entire community of retired players,
right?
Not just a certain group or a certain individual who was used in the commercials. It's the entire group is getting some sort of an award. Late and later than never is okay. Now,
yeah.
Now it's a good thing that we can do that, and we're trying our best to find things that we can do with the dictation that the judge has given us that we have to follow. So it's not like we can't just write a check to you,
right?
But we can put together programs that helps.
That's right.
That helps a little bit.
That's right. That's awesome. Last but not least, everybody by now has seen that big old rock on your hand, and that is a very special ring. As a matter of fact, Ron Nix has one of those too. And when I asked him earlier, Ron, is that your Super Bowl ring? He goes, no. This is much more rare than that. Show us your ring. Point that towards the camera and show us that ring. Tell us what it is.
That's the new edition of the Football Hall of Fame ring. It's a tad gaudy, but and it will get you in trouble when you're at the bar in the airport.
Right.
I mean, everybody wants to. What is that?
Yeah. Right. That's definitely a conversation piece. Anyways, Jack, thanks for hanging out with us.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Brian.
Love talking to you.
Thank you, man.
Amazing. Thank you.
We'll do it again.
That's for sure.
It's fun.
All right.